This store, Bakka Phoenix Books, we opened in 1972. We are the world's oldest science fiction and fantasy bookstore. When I first started, I learned a lot very quickly. I went from working as an employee on a team to running a small business. Lots of challenges to meet, lots of things to learn, lots of excitement. The thing about running a small business is that very quickly you learn to let surprise be your ground state. Because you never know what's coming up. There are economic forces you can't control that will affect your business. And that's both in terms of challenges and in terms of windfalls. So as long as you are prepared to expect anything, nothing surprises you so much that you can't cope. I think what our customers love most about our business is our deep well of knowledge. We have employees who've been here for 20 plus years. Many of our employees have either gone on to become or are still writers in the field themselves. People come into a bookstore for the front list, for the brand new books, but they come back for the back list, for those gems that you missed before you discovered the author, for that one story that you didn't know you really wanted to read, and that's what we do, that's what we provide. There is nothing better than having somebody come back to you and say, I loved that book. That book you gave me last time. Oh, it was so good. I loved it. And we just came through the Christmas season, and one of the things about Christmas that we love is that that's the time people come in not buying books for themselves, and they say, they're telling us they need something for their nephew or their uncle or, they're the person they're brand new dating, and they want to tell us a little bit about this person and help us make a match. That's also really satisfying to get that right. There's nothing that beats that feeling. Our exciting plans for the future are a lot of the more of the same that we are doing right now. We are going to continue to do all the things that we are great offer the largest selection of science fiction and fantasy in the city, the expertise, but we also do tons of events with authors, both in-store and off-site. We attend a regular reading series, which we sell books. We love that kind of thing, and we're going to keep doing it as much and as hard as we can. When we moved here 5 years ago, our store was moved by our customers. We put out a call, said we're moving, and about 25 people showed up on the weekend just to help us cart boxes. That's how deep people's attachment goes to the store. So there's that on the one hand, but I think one of the other things that people don't know is that we are, in fact, the oldest science fiction and fantasy bookstore in the world. There are others that predate us, but they have since closed. So this is it. We often say, one of our taglines is Canada's oldest science fiction and fantasy bookstore. But we are, in fact, the oldest science fiction and fantasy bookstore, and that's kind of cool. Mine probably is John Rose, who was the former owner of this store. His understanding of both how to manage the business side of it and how to manage the people side of it became some of my guiding principles. I think what I like best is the constant challenges, the ability to both have a sort of routine in the sense that I know where I am going to work, but to never quite know exactly what's going to happen day to day, week to week, month to month. Lots of the same things, lots of things that are completely new and unexpected, and that's what makes it fun. Years and years ago, someone said to me, and this is true, that if you are running a small business, you need one of two things. It's better if you have both, but you need either money or energy. You can make do without one if you have the other. But yes, it's best to have both. I love being on Harbert Street. This is, of all the locations that I have worked in this store, this is by far my favorite. I love our building. I love our proximity to transportation. I love how close we are to the university. I love how close we are to Bloor Street. And I also love how we are part of a neighborhood here. When we were on Young Street, very busy, but it's not a neighborhood, it's an artery. People are passing by. When we moved to Queen West, it was much more of a neighborhood, but it was a neighborhood in constant transition. And we were there for 5 years, and in that by the time we left, there were only about 6 businesses that were still there. Harvard is a little more settled, it's a little more comfortable. It is perhaps a little quieter, but it has a great neighborhood feeling, and I love that. I love Harvard House. That's probably my favorite place to eat here. Great atmosphere, great food, terrific people. I also love Harvard Bakery. I love Redfish Bluefish across the street. There are a couple of new places that moved in. There's a brand new noodle shop, Magic Noodle. I went to check it out and I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to go back and try something else. And there's a new chicken place that moved in. I want to see that. The other thing I really enjoy about this neighborhood is there are a number of other bookstores. There's Caversham Books, there's Parent Books. Toronto Women's Bookstore used to also be located near here, although is not anymore. That's a great thing in my industry. Like antique stores, we like to cluster together. I walk around a lot. When you don't have time to take a real break, it's still nice to get out for 20 minutes and to walk around. There are a lot of beautiful homes. In the summer, people take really good care of their gardens. Like I said, and there's also a lot of delicious things to eat. Shopping locally gives you a connection to your neighborhood. It keeps you invested in where you live. Shopping locally connects you to your neighbors. I mean, the people who work here every day are your neighbors, even if they may not be there every night. It gives you an awareness of your own community. It just keeps us all connected together. We were at Yonge and Wellesley, we were at Queen and Bathurst, and now we're at Harvard and Spadina. This is by far my favorite area, and we will never move again.